I'm just going to talk to you for a few minutes about going for a reading. When you're choosing to go and have a reading with someone, it's really best to go by word of mouth. Because if other people have had really good readings, then they're certainly going to recommend a person that they've seen. And word of mouth recommendations is invaluable. Now, I've been a medium for 40 years. That's a hell of a lot of experience. Now, most people who come for readings are coming because they have a need. Now, some people go because they're curious. I don't see people anymore who are just curious, because there's far too many people that search me out because they're in need. Whether that's need with bereavement, or they're just completely lost in life and need some direction. They need to know that the people that they miss, who love them very much, can see what's happening in their lives and can help to guide them a bit. Those are the really important readings. Now, when you're thinking of going to visit a medium, please go with an open mind. Don't go and think, oh, I'm going to see if she's any good or he's any good, and then sit there with a prove it to me attitude. You will look like a complete idiot, and it is hugely disrespectful to someone who has spent years and years honing their craft. If you sit there and think to yourself, well, I'm not going to believe anything unless I see something myself, again, that makes you look completely stupid and is really annoying. And you're taking up time from someone who really needs to see somebody who talks sense. There has been times in the past, long time ago, when people would book to see me with that kind of attitude. Now, anybody who knows me well knows that I don't really stand for that. And they usually give me a piece of information about them that they really didn't want anybody to know. And really just kind of shut them up, show them, that this is real and not to be messed about with. So if you come and see me, for instance, or anybody that I have trained with the English Psychic Company, we're going to know. We're absolutely going to know. And there is no point in sitting there and pretending to be someone else. I had a lady once who came to me years and years ago, probably 30 years ago now. And she introduced herself as Shirley. Shook hands, sat down. I went to make her a cup of coffee, and as I'm making her the cup of coffee, this gentleman came through and he said to me, she's not called Shirley, she's called Jan. Thank you for that. So I made her coffee and I took it back to her and I gave it to her and I said, there's your coffee, Jan. To say she was freaked out would be something of an understatement. And she apologised profusely for fibbing. And I just laughed and I pointed out to her that I get it, that she needed to know that I was real. I understand that. So once we got that out of the way, she had a brilliant reading and she was very happy. We will always know. Now, if you go for a reading with someone, like I said, go with an open mind and be relaxed. Because this, when I talk about having a kind of prove it to me attitude, it's a bit like the person that loves you is rolling their eyes and thinking, oh God, nothing much has changed there then. And they're like trying to make what is in terms of really a hell of a journey to come through, to try to talk some sense to you or to try to give you some advice or whatever it is that you need from them. And with that attitude, it's like you are refusing to open the door. That's it. So you wouldn't do that You know, if your nan had travelled 300 miles to come and say hello, or your sister or your brother or somebody, you wouldn't just shut the door on them and say, oh no, I can't be dealing with you today. Well, it's just the same thing. So be relaxed, and then you're likely to have a really cracking reading. Now the medium, and like myself, I don't need to know why you're coming to see me. I don't ask you any questions. Because I know when I sit down opposite you, that the person that is coming and giving me the information about you will already know what it is that you need to know, and will deliver that information every time. They will also know if you've been a bit of an arse, or if you've treated somebody badly, or if you're going to sit in front of me and whine that your life is this and that and the other and it's bad and you've never done anything. They'll tell me what you did that actually caused that problem that you've come to me about. Everything is known. Everything. So only go to a medium if you really want some comfort and some guidance. And one of the most amazing things for me is being able to bring through someone that you love very much and are missing, and be able to give information about themselves that only you would know. You see, that's the detail, and that's what I teach all of my students, is to get the detail. Anybody could tell you you've got a bad back, that your nan had a budgie, that you used to have caravan holidays every summer. Who the hell hasn't? It has to be detail. The colour of your nan's eyes, which is usually embarrassing for most people because they can't remember, which amuses everybody upstairs no end. Things like that, how they died, where they died, who was with them when they passed, what was said to them when they passed, what was done in the room after they passed, what ceremonies and remembrances and memorial things have you done in their memories since they passed. What you did last Tuesday, what you did last Wednesday, what you said to them, the prayers that you sent out, what you put in the coffin. They know all of those things. They also incidentally know who had the money and shouldn't have had it, who was playing up since the funeral, who had the ring that should have gone to your sister. They know. All of those things are known, which can be a little bit embarrassing because sometimes that comes up in a reading. So when you go and see somebody, like I said, choose someone that has been recommended to you. And if you're sat with somebody who tells you that they're a good medium or a good psychic or whatever, and they start telling you things that scare you, and they start giving you bad news, get the hell out. Because that is not genuine. That is not genuine at all. And it absolutely hacks me off. The amount of people I've had come to me over the years that have been frightened to death by other people who are half-baked in what they do. Choose someone. If you're putting your emotional state in the hands of someone, choose someone who's been recommended. Choose someone who is experienced. Any medium would never, ever be offended if you ask them how experienced they are. You've got every right to ask. You're placing your emotional, mental kind of self in the hands of somebody, and you want to make sure they know what they're doing. It's really important. So like I said, choose someone who's been recommended to you. Choose someone whose integrity and honesty is massively important. And that's a huge thing for me with the English Psychic Company, with the people that I teach, with my own mediumship. The quality of the messages that they bring and the integrity with which they do their readings and how they are as a person outside of that. Hugely important. Now, over the years, I've been privy to some absolutely stunningly, amazingly wonderful readings that people have had. And it is life-changing, because a reading should be about healing. It's about helping you to move forward through whatever it is that you're going through, that there is a way out. And there is always, always a way over, under, or around, straight through a problem. And if you can't see it because you're so frazzled, people who love you will know what the way forward is. And they will tell me, or whoever you go to see, they will tell them to tell you what to do. And the responsibility is then yours as to whether you follow that path or not. Now, I'm very lucky in that I have clients who've been with me for over 20 years and choose not to go anywhere else. Now, that is a testament to the quality of the information that you bring them. And that is hugely important, because as a medium, we are responsible for your emotional state, not just whilst you're sat there in the reading, but long after you have left. So if you find someone who doesn't portray that type of integrity, get the hell out. Leave. You have to feel comfortable with who you're sitting opposite. And remember, those who love you, they absolutely know everything that you are going through. And they do hear you. When you pick up your dad's photo and you give it a dust and you kiss the photo and you tell him that you love him, he can feel that. When you talk to them, you talk out loud, anywhere, in your car, in the cemetery, wherever, they can hear you. And just to finish, here's a short story, one of many hundreds and thousands probably experiences that I've had. It's one night, it was about 11 o'clock at night, and I was just sat reading a book, and I had a friend's dad who had passed like 6 or 7 years before, and I'd met him maybe half a dozen times in his life. And he came into my consciousness so strongly that it stopped me reading the book. So I just mentally, because mediumship is telepathic, so I just said to him, nice to see you. Do you want me to pass on a message? And he said, yes, I do. And then he just waved at me. I said, is that it? And he said, yes, thank you. Faded away. So I rang up my friend and I said, I've had your dad here. And she said, oh, lovely, does he have a message? I said, yeah. He just waved at you. And she burst into tears. Because the night before, in the early hours of the morning, unable to sleep, she had gone out into her garden and she had waved at the night sky and told her dad she loved him. I'll leave that with you. Thank you for listening.